Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Life. Here I go again. Okay, Life Clarifications with Natasha Venter, and I'm just here to help you through things. And I'm you're gonna find me being perfectly imperfect today, so um, because it's just been one of those days that just life has just been happening, and and I wanted to say that when I'm in life clarifications show here, like I said, I'm going to be perfectly imperfect today. That as I'm here, my intention is always to bring forth the knowledge that I have gained through observations, through life's challenges, personal, others that I've witnessed. And those witnessings are always without judgment. And so as we go through life, life is always going to bring us something that we're always challenged with. And I didn't even know what I wanted to talk about today. And then all of a sudden last night, intuitively, I was just starting to write out about something about stress. And I go, oh, okay. I guess I'm going to be doing that then. So today I want to talk about stress because stress is something that we all challenge with. We're stressed over this and we're stressed over that, and we get anxiety over this and we get angst over that. And life is always happening around us. We're never going to be rid of it. And the more that we can navigate through it, the better off life is going to be for us personally. And our digestive system is going to be better, our hearts are going to be better, our skin, many times for people who have eczema, I can't say that word today, eczema, there we go, and things like that, that a lot of those are stress orientated, not all, and it's not always just one thing, but I can tell you that stress does add into those knowings that we have, like our tummy's upset, because many of us get stressed out. Well, that's our second, our third, well, our first, second, and third chakras. Because the first chakra, and I just take these as basics. I know that there's much more to these chakras, and there's many more than just these seven chakras of, the ones that we mainly talk about going up. But the first one is about, and I just take, like I said, the simple sentence to it. How do I survive? Do I have home? Do I have food? Do I have water? Do I have those bare necessities? The second chakra is, how do I feel about myself? Self-love, self-appreciation, anything with the self in front of it. Well, a lot of us have troubles with that. Well, that's a female problem if we're females. Could be male problems if we're males. Well, that's more lower chakra. Um, and if we're not dealing with things very well, our second chakra could be, we have lower digestive problems, female problems, because if we're female, that many of us take care of others more. And so we have female problems because we're not being enough feminine for ourselves. We're always putting people over us. And as we go forward, now we're going to go up to our third chakra, which I can tell you right now that my liver is talking a little bit. So food is getting a little bit dancy with like vinegars and fats and the spice. I don't eat spicy, but those foods that just have that little bit of shift to them. Like corns and let's see, I named vinegar, tomatoes. Things like that. That the gallbladder and the liver help process through. And so that's my third chakra. So I'm getting a ding right now. I'm getting a ding that maybe my third chakra is, maybe I need to do some TLC with that one. See if it's, yeah, see, now I just checked in with it. And usually, let's see, the first one's red, the second one's orangish colors is the thing that they say. And then the one's yellow. Well, my that I can see is kind of like a really muddy yellow. And so I'm going to do some work with my chakra after the show. When we're going through things and that we're doing life, those chakras, when they're messed up, they do affect our digestive system. Our stomachs get upset. So I'm going to mention a couple mantras here. in this show. And so if you'd like to get a pencil and paper down, I would appreciate it. Those that have been working with me know some of these chakras. Or chakras. Told you I was going to be perfectly imperfect in the show today. Some of these mantras, but yet at the same time, though, these mantras are ones that I use daily. I use sometimes when I'm having moments that they really hit me to use so that when I'm going through something, that it supports my wisdom going through. Because we're all human. We all go through something. We all need to manage something in life. Like my friend was just saying that I'm staying with here, that she's feeling anxiety and stressfulness when she's driving on the freeway. Well, there's been a whole bunch of angst on that we collectively get. So remember, this is first shot. This is the first mantra. Is this mine or is this somebody else's? Hmm, that's a good question to ask. Is this mine or is this somebody else's? Because if we decide that this is mine, so, like me just checking in, is the way I'm feeling today, because my vertigo is hitting me today, my stomach's a little bit upset today, and there's some things going on, and there's something that, there's just things that are happening, not stressful to me, but there's things happening. And so my body, even though my mind says that's not something to stress over, maybe my body does. So I'm checking in. Is this mine? Yes, it's mine. And actually, I know what I did. I ate something that was just a little bit off for me. And so that's not helping me out any. So with that as we go through life, check in. Is this mine or somebody else's? So when you're driving on the freeway or driving down a road or, and you drive by sometimes these spots where there's like maybe 4 or 5 car accidents. And all of a sudden you're feeling this angst and this energy and this stress and this moment of, oh my gosh, well, think about it. There's 4 or 5 car accidents at that corner. Wouldn't there be an energy plant on that? Yes, there would. So there again is this mine or is this somebody else's? And deciding that, put a bubble of love around yourself, put a bubble of love around those other that other energy, and see if there's something can help you with that. So that's the first thing to decide. So I'm going to give you some tools here. So like I said, if you want to write a couple of these down, it might be a nice thing to do. And if you want to make a comment, please do, because of the fact that as we're going through things and life is happening, that, I would love to hear what you have to say. And I'm hoping that these tools can really give you some inspiration on moving forward in your life. Okay, so there's one. Number two is that, and this is not going to be in order here, that, we go through these things many times that these stressful moments keep adding up. When we go through life altering experiences, it's amazing how we kind of get a little raw. So let's say that if you lose your job, lose your home, and then you're trying to find something, and all of a sudden somebody says that you need gas in the car, and you just blow up. Well, it wasn't the gas in the car that blew you up. It was everything coming together, the combination. There we go. My dyslexia is today, so please be aware that I am just being perfectly imperfect in front of you, and I am not going to stress over it. I hope that it actually gives you a chance to see that vulnerability. Ooh, that's a magical triggered word sometimes. Vulnerability can really give you a chance to say, is this mine or is this somebody else's? Is this something that I need to have a 10 over? Or is this something just a 3 maybe in the scale of, 3 being, it doesn't feel good, 10 being it's over the top. So with that, checking in to see where you're at on a scale. What is this worth it? Down. Do not, and I'm going to give this to you, do not compare yourself to somebody else. Your stressors are yours. Somebody like me, bugs don't bother me. I had something that flew in my hair today, didn't bother me. My girlfriend wanted to run off away from the table because we all have different sweat stressors. So with that, just being aware of where we're at, what is my personal stressor? Do I have angst being around other people's energies? Well, many of us are intuitive with our third chakra. Some people are with our second chakra, which is about the belly button, and then the first chakra is lower. That as we go through life and doing things, that those things will be affected. No matter who you are, what you are, stress is going to be in your life. It's a given. If you have a perfect life, I don't think anybody has a perfect life. I don't know anybody who has a perfect life. Life is about being interactive so that we can move forward. As we move forward, life can do things to us to make sure that we're stronger. Because I know that, there's one year that my dad passed away 3 years before this, and I had my first child. 3 years later, my mom, 3 weeks after I had my second child, was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. In that time, sold my family home, sold a home that my mom inherited. Grateful for my cousin who supported me through this, and the cousins and the family members who supported me through this, because I couldn't have done it without them. Whew, blessed to them for that. And I still hold them in love, even though this was over 20-ish. Well, let's see, my 24 years ago. So 3 weeks after my second child was born, my mom was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. And it was kind of funny. There was a more metaphorical moment in that. We were in the doctor's office. My child ended up having a number two, and the doctor walked in and said, "I hate to say this to you," not in these words necessarily, "but you got Lou Gehrig's disease." And I went, "What a shitty diagnosis." Isn't that funny how synchronicities happen? So with that, so sold two houses, bought one, husband changed a job, had a 4-year-old, had a newborn, had to move my mom out of a 60 years in the basement, 30 years on top, and she was kind of a hoarder, borderline hoarder. So with that without my family, that would have been, but the stress of that year and still working through grief with my dad really taught me a lot about how to manage myself. Sometimes not very well. Well, and I wanted to add on something else. And this is something I've said before, but I had a husband who had been drinking since the day we met. And him being an alcoholic, a very successful one, he went to work every day, that kind of thing. But it's still coming home at the end of the day, having my mom with Lou Gehrig's disease, new baby, expectations. My stress level was, I would say, 12 out of 10. And, what we do though is that now when I get into stress, I kind of put it as you know what? That was kind of hell. This is kind of easy, or easier, not easy, easier. I love the suffixes, ers, ings, um, ishes. They make a difference. So with that as we go through life and maneuvering through life, we're going to have these moments where the universe dumps on us, really literally dumps on us. And hopefully the tools we gain out of those moments can pick us up and let us walk through differently through the life moving forward. And no matter what we do, no matter where we're at, life is going to give us different stressors. I know right now there's people in other countries that their stressor is trying to find food, trying to stay safe so that their government or people who think that they have the right to shoot people are doing it. My love goes to them, and I'm asking for healing on that. Then you got people who are on the streets without homes. And I'm going to be honest, some of them are choices and some of them aren't. My love goes to them, and I'm asking for healing on this. We're all in different boats where things happen. And you never know when things are going to come out of the blue. So with that, the first tool I gave you is this mine, my energy, or is this somebody else's? This is a collection of energies. So with, as we go through life, think about that. Another mantra I'm going to give you is, what's this here to teach me? What's this here to teach me? Many of us, because we're human, because we're very human, go through life and we become a victim really easily. Being a victim is a natural occurrence. We all go there. It's called moments. Now, I'm going to tell you that some people are in victimhood a little bit longer, mainly because of Mars is in this sign and Saturn's in this sign, and my North Node does this, and sometimes we're pre-positioned, whatever that word is. We are destined to be a little bit more one way or the other. Just like me being a double Cancerian, I had a little bit more emotions. Now, my girlfriend gave me a great credit. She goes, boy, girl, I think you handle your emotions very well. And I say, well, I've had lots of practice because I've had to. So that's why I know emotions so well, because I've had to practice. Then you throw in my Aries rising, and that gives me a little fire. So I got water and fire signs, 2 waters and 1 fire sign. And can you imagine me trying to put up the water trying to put out the fire, and the fire trying to make the water go away? Well, no, I've just learned make wonderful steam. Fire and water make wonderful steam to make the propulsion to move forward. Perspective. That's another thing. Try to look at your perspective, especially when we're in victimhood. There was something that happened here. She just moved into this home 6 weeks ago. And when you first move into a home, you think that you have a working refrigerator, and all of a sudden it gives up the ghost, and here things are happening, and she's kind of rung raw. I love her so much, and she's just had a rough road for a little bit here, like all of us have. COVID really tossed us up a little bit. Well, as she's talking about something, loving her, holding her through this moment, here's this bird outside, just flicking leaves out of the way, looking for bugs. Perspective. Perspective. And then I got a text from a friend where his sister just passed. Perspective. Not to say that the refrigerator going bad was a negative, it wasn't impactful for her. It was very impactful. I don't blame her. The thing is, though, perspective. And there again is moving through it. So what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? Now I'm going to tell you that sometimes things happen in our lives to lead us to the next destination. So for an instance, like I did not, on my trip, did not get my prescriptions that I needed on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the previous week, like I was intending to, so I can think ahead. No, for some reason, the doctor didn't get a hold of me or get it in process. So finally, Wednesday, or Tuesday, I was leaving Friday or Thursday, that, I called in the places to get the prescription so that they can contact my doctor. Great doctor. She just gets busy. A little angst because one of those I really needed to take, and the other one was just an EpiPen for just in cases because of my nut allergy. That I could have been highly stressed over that. Highly stressed over that because of the fact that I was leaving Thursday morning at 3:00 in the morning. How can I get my prescriptions? So I asked the universe, okay, what is this here to teach me? Yes, I planned ahead. Trust. This is here teaching me trust. Okay. I'm learning the word of trust. Surrender. Surrender. Not always easy. Very vulnerable. And acceptance. Okay. My acceptance is that whatever the journey is, I'm going to walk forward anyways. So with that I asked the universe in the morning, okay, I need to be on my show at 3:00. Or at 4:00. Let me have my prescriptions by 2:30 at the latest. And I kept repeating that instead of thinking, oh crap, is it going to come? Is it going to come? Is it going to come? Is it going to? No, I said 2:30. I need them by 2:30, please. So I was changing my thought pattern to a wording to make it help me be successful. Well, I kept saying it and I kept saying it. Whenever oh, I wonder, oh God, what happens if it doesn't? Oh, what happens if it doesn't happen? 2:30, no later than 2:30. Got a phone call at 1:45 for one prescription and went to the other place where the prescription was, walked up to the office and they said, oh yeah, it's ready. That was 2:15. We never know if we take a different perspective, become a little vulnerable, that it's amazing what we can do to navigate through our processes of stress. And sometimes things happen for a reason. There's been times where my car broke down and I needed to get something fixed. Well, it turns out that if I wouldn't have gotten that fix, I wouldn't have found the other problem that needed even more fixed because I was going to go on the road. You know, and I just cancel, delete because that didn't happen to me. I'm just saying, though, that sometimes things happen to support us along the way. So shift, if you can, when you can, the perspective. Say, ouch, that hurt. What am I going to do about it? Okay, what is this here to teach me? Practicing that can help. We're always moving forward. We're always doing what we can do. You know, and being a victim is not an easy place to be. And it's easy to stay there. If you can just say, ouch, that hurt, and then say, where am I supposed to go from here? Those perspectives do help us. So when we're managing stress, our minds like to start to spin. They spin. They keep repeating the same story over and over again. Why is this going to happen? I'm going to go back to the medicine. Why is this happening? Why can't I do this? What's going to happen? I don't know if I can have it. That's my mind. But my knowing, my tools that I've learned, the tools I've practiced, that's why I always say practice makes better. That the tools that I've learned helps me manage through those processes to say, okay, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? Loving yourself through this process of life, because life is happening and it is tossing us into places that we have not been before in our knowings, in our life planning. Yeah, we never planned for any of this. So how are we going to know what to do? So if you can, what is this here to teach me? How can I practice a new skill? Maybe this is teaching me a new skill so that I can move forward in my life. Because maybe if I learned how to do ... I can do another job and I'd be more accomplished and feeling inside. Losing a job sometimes moves us to a place where we do better. And that's the amazing thing. That is the amazing thing, is as if we can just, that's not, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that word. Because just is just one of those things that's like, why can't you just do it? Well, no, not everybody has the tools. So if I can ask you to support yourself in practice, even if it's just a little bit, to say, what is this here to teach me? Even if it's 3 or 4 days later in hindsight that you think about this, at least you are. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it is about ideas on how to manage stress. Stress is always I'm going to keep saying this, stress is always going to be there. What can we do with it to support ourselves? Now, another thing that we're going through is that, we can always, when we hear somebody's having a stressful day, how do we feel after they dump on us, you know, uh, that as we're going through things and we're managing things, that as we're going life, it's amazing how after we are with someone that that it's amazing where things are going. And we may not always feel okay, you know? So, Gemma, you've said something a couple times. You said this last Monday, I think, and I didn't understand what you're saying. So, if you can clarify, I would greatly appreciate that because I don't know what you're saying here, and I'm not going to put it up on air. But I'm so grateful you're here to watch, and please comment if anybody has a comment. Please do because we're not here to be here alone. We're here to support each other. Life is happening around us. And doing it alone is not it's not for us to do. Okay. So another tool that I use that really is helpful, and I've shown people this before, is I do a healing technique, and it's called high touch. It's sorry, quick finger release high touch. Okay, so the technique is high touch. So holding your finger, and it's not very hard, just holding your finger. So there's different fingers that have different emotions. Okay. Different fingers have different organs involved. Okay. So with this, I'm going to hold this up for a minute. Okay. So the pinky here is, oh, that's the thumb. Sorry about that. The thumb is about the stomach. So like when my stomach was a little bit upset today, when I wasn't feeling, when I ate something that wasn't agreement, I was holding my thumb, just holding it, just supporting my stomach to process through that whatever that is. Okay. And then we have, this is backwards on the screen, so I apologize. Then we have the kidneys and the gallbladder. Okay. And the gallbladder, or the bladder, sorry. So many of us, as we're going through life, we end up having situations where we may not be drinking enough, we may not be eating enough. Stress is bad or stressful on our organs too. And so if we can hold that finger to help, process through our, because I can tell you that as we drink water and we're standing in the shower or we're doing something with water, water is about emotions. So if you all of a sudden have plumbing problems, look to see how the emotions are being handled in your home. If you're having water problems, let's say flooding, check and see how the community is dealing with emotions that are going on. Water is about emotions. Okay. So the next one is liver and gallbladder. So like I said, my liver and my gallbladder are talking. So I've been holding that finger. Well, guess what finger that is? That's the middle finger. I'll explain a little bit more there. And the ring finger is the umbilicus, lung, and large intestine. So that whole upper digestive system. So with that finger is important too, because that's about digesting life. And then the pinky is about the heart and the small intestine. So if you know that somebody's having a heartache because they maybe lost a relationship or grief, it's amazing. It's troublesome. So the heart can hurt with grief. The heart can hurt. Okay, so now we're going to walk over this, turn this page over because each finger represents an emotion. So thumb is about worry and depression, guilt, worry. So if you're worried and your stomach's upset, hold your thumb. Fear, your pointer finger. Where are you going? Are you fearful about your future? So fear, purification. So fear and the perfectionism of life. So if you're fearful about something, hold this finger. which is actually the kidney and the gallbladder. You're processing life because the kidneys are about that processing. Okay. Then you have your ring finger. Perfect finger to remember too, because that's about anger and it's about indecision. So anger, because we're angry about life happening to us. We don't know why things are going on. We're just in the moment where things are happening. And, grief, anger, anger. So if you're having some situations where you're just angry, why in the back of you is this happening to me? Anger. And like I said, that's about the liver and gallbladder. So I'm going to kind of look at my own self. So anger. Am I secretly, passive aggressively angry about something? Well, I know in the last year, I've really decided that anger had a purpose in my life because I used to never get that angry. And anybody who's known me for quite a while, I didn't get angry when I should have actually. So with that I'm learning how to process my anger differently. So this finger here, the ring finger, is about grief. Isn't that funny? The ring finger is about grief. Marriage finger. So grief, negative attitude, loss of common sense. Okay. So that is the lungs, breathing in life. Breathing in life is about lungs. The large intestine is about digesting what we're doing. It's that getting things taken care of. So with that, the grief. Now remember that you have a lot of anger when you're in grief mode. So you can go back and forth to these fingers. And the pinky is about confusion and pretense. So if you have confusion in your life, and that's about the heart, what does the heart really want to do? What does the heart really want? Isn't that a saying? What does the heart really want to do? So when you're worried about what your heart wants to do, hold your fingers, and that will support your heart to beat through your worries, through your walking through this new normal, walking through these things that are happening. And if you forget what any of these fingers are representing, which I always like these two, because the grief is about relationships, right? And anger is a good one because we always use that finger, So the anger finger. So those two, if you're using any of them, just those are easy to remember. Whenever we're working through things, life is happening. Now, I'm going to show you something here. And it's basically called harmony. It's basically just called harmony. It's where you take one hand and you put it inside the other. Okay. And then you put your thumb across. You see how we got these lines right here? You put it across there. And then you hold the thumb. Okay. So you're going to hold the thumb. And then you wrap it around. And then you're going to wrap this hand around here. And just sit with that. Because you want the pressure to be in your palm. Pressure in your palm. Just kind of sit with that. And what does your body feel? Where does it feel? Does it feel kind of this like a little bit of tingly or just a kind of a so see what you can do with that. That's harmony. That's just kind of that finalization of just okay, what am I going to do about it? Okay. So with that as we go through life, I'm going to put this up again just so people can see. Okay, if you want to take a snapshot with your camera or something like that. And you can always replay this, remember, this is on video. And these are the emotions that are along with it. And the mental mind of it. So the circles are the emotions, and the mental mind is the squares. Okay, so with that, I hope that can give you tools. Now, every night when I'm going to bed, I hold my fingers. I start at my pinky and I work my way around. And you can hold them for 2 minutes. You can hold them for 10 minutes. You can hold them for 30 seconds. It's up to you when you feel right to move on. Sometimes I go back and I start again after my thumb. I go back to my pinky and I go around again because each organ needs to be helpful. Okay. And if you're not sleeping, I suggest that you do this whenever you wake up because of the fact that many of us aren't sleeping. And let's say if you wake up like in between 2 and 3 in the morning, or 2 and 4 in the morning, that's your liver that's kind of acting up a little bit. And sometimes we just need to support our liver. Okay. So I would suggest doing your fingers whenever you can. In the middle of the day, when you wake up, when you can't sleep, when you go to bed, when you're reading, when you're talking with someone else who is angry or in grief or worried. Because our energy fields, it's kind of like the whisper of a hug from one to another, that our energy fields dance around each other. And as we go through life, things happen where, like, I was sitting in a classroom and I had an upset student, and the teacher was trying to teach a class, and I just brought that student to the back and just sat with him. And he was just plain old, he was a kindergartner, he was just done in life and just done with the day. And he just was circling. He did that circling thing. But he didn't want to hear anything. But it didn't happen to me the minute I wanted it to. Kindergartner. So what I did was I sat back there and I just started talking with him. Held my grief finger, held my anger finger, held my grief finger, held my. Pretty soon he started coming down. And then I kept doing this. And then he circled back up again because that was what his mental mind was doing. I just talked him down again. And pretty soon he was able to get his backpack on because it was the end of the day anyways. And he was able to walk out to catch the bus. But he was just done. And the thing is, though, doing that, even though it wasn't my body that was going through the stress, it was his body going through the stress, doing these fingers did help. And life is happening around us. Who in our life is not stressed at this moment or angst at this moment? Life is happening. Another thing I would like to suggest, and we talked about this on Monday on our show, Dance of the Soul, because our life is through journeys of past lives. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to tap into. Thank you for my team for putting that language in my head. That many of us are stressed over things that are triggered from past lives. Some of us have an ant or a bug scenario. Well, some of us maybe have been buried in an anthill when we were in a past life, and we don't want to be around bugs. So with that, sometimes stressors are the things that come to us because of past life memories. And that's where I can help you out with that, because I tap into past life work real easily. I actually did a bunch of past life work in myself since Monday. Well, since the last couple weeks here, because it was really coming forth. So with that as we go through life, touch on to someone who can help you with emotions, navigating through life. Now I'm going to say that another one of these tools that I have is stones. Stones are here to support us. And there's different stones that have different things. Now, this is calcite. This is citrine, has a little bit of other stuff in it. This is fluorite. It's just purple fluorite. Sometimes it's more green. And I got this stone from a friend and it was about breaking through some, some blockages. And so this one came to me. Can't remember the name of it. And if Kathy's watching, I would appreciate if you would chime in a little bit here. But I know that citrine, this stone is I've actually used this when I've had aches on my shoulders, a headache. That citrine is a great messenger for taking. Oh, thank you. So Kathy just said this was blue apatite. Blue apatite. Actually, I got this stone from Kathy. So she sells rocks. She sells stones. She's really good at it. So with that, she's a great one to reach out to, even if you don't live in the area. Okay. So with that this is citrine. I love citrine because citrine takes negative to positive. And it's one of the few stones that really don't need to be cleared, even though this one, when it holds a lot, because I've had to have it help me with my muscles twitching, that it became cloudy. And I knew that it needed rest, so I just put it down for a little bit. But citrine takes negative to positive. And if it's a truer stone, because there's some that are man-made, but if it and they're really powerful too. But if you can get more of a truer stone, that it has more impact. And like this point, sometimes I point it into the area that it needs to. So when you have a stone that has point, this is kind of flat energy just to support. This is pointing the energy somewhere. So we have these different things. Citrine's also a prosperity stone. So guess what? I have a bigger citrine, and it sits in my prosperity corner because I do feng shui. And actually, I'm helping my friend here feng shui their house, and all the energy has changed so much. It sits in the feng shui. It sits in the prosperity corner, over the corner, in the same corner that my husband deposits um, his keys and stuff like that from the day, where it's helping him with his tiredness and his energy field. And then with that, it's also a prosperity stone, so it's helping me bring prosperity to life. One never knows what stones can help us. I know fluorite, it helps us with chaos. So when I'm feeling chaotic inside myself, I'll hold the stone somewhere. Sometimes I sleep with it, just because sometimes I'm just so busy and crazy. So when you have stones, it's amazing what can happen. Now, different stones are going to look different. Different stones are going to feel different for you. Let's see here. Kathy said something, and I'm going to do my better reading this. Wearing a ring with a stone, which works with the energies of the finger, it also can be helpful. Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that. You can also use your hand to place the stone in a specific chakra without dragging. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm going to start reading it. You can also use. I had a paper who flew. My dyslexia is triggered. Sorry about this. Okay. So wearing a ring finger with a stone, which works with an energies of the finger, it can also be helpful. You can also then use your hand to place the stone on a specific chakra without dragging around lots of your. Yes. So in other words, let's see here. There we go. So in other words, like if I'm my stomach today, okay, so I'm going to put it on my third chakra, right? So did I drag it around? No. I put it here, just let it sit. So the chaos that was happening with my stomach, I'm allowing the fluorite that helps with chaos, brings chaos to calmness, or chaos to doable-ishness, helps us, it's a tool to move forward. So with that, as we work through life, we have tools. So as we remember that as we go through life, and people think that calcite is one of those stones, you see it everywhere, but I can tell you it has many, many different facets of what it can help with and different colors. And I know it's one of my stones that I go to quite often. It's just one of those unspoken magical stones. We're always going through something. Always. So why not have some tools? Now I'm going to tell you that I wear pocket stone. I wear these smaller stones in my pocket. So like when I was going through, many times at school, I wear my stones. If I don't, I found another way to wear stones. It's one of those things that as we go through life, that having stones, it helps. Now I know intuitively that I can ask if I forget a stone to have its energy follow me, but sometimes it's just nice to roll your stone through your fingers. There's just something that when we're doing something physical, it helps our mental mind to process. That's another thing. So as you're going through life and life is happening, remember to be physical. Because if we sit and stay in our mental mind, do you think that's anything's going to happen? No. We got to go through the physical. We got to move forward. We got to do things to help us move what we're doing. And I can tell you that if you're having knee problems or ankle problems, it's because we're having problems moving forward. And the ankles and the knees are about the flexibility to move forward, the stability, and the knee is about moving forward. These are very quick terms, so there's much more to this conversation at another time. I'm always here to support, and I can do. I'm set up to do private sessions to support someone through how can I manage my personal walk through what's triggering me. Because I know I can give you blanket statements here, but I can tell you that each one of us has different stories that triggers us into that stress mode. And those things, Chiron was going into retrograde for 6 months and it started July 15th. Yes. And guess what? It's about shadow work. It's about what are the woundedness of ourselves that needs to be healed, wants to be healed, calling to be healed. So as we do that, so here's the mantra. What is this here to teach me? Well, hopefully I gave you some tools to help go through things. Another thing is that I am asking for healing on this. I'm asking for healing on this. That is one mantra I use to stop my spinning. If I'm worried about, let's say when the riots were happening, oh God, what's going to happen? I hope I can get down the street to where I'm needing to go. Okay, I'm asking for healing on this. What happens if my prescriptions don't come in? I'm asking for healing on this. What happens if I'm asking for healing on this. Why does this keep happening? I'm asking for healing on this. Putting that mantra in place does help us process. Why does that person keep saying this to me? I'm asking for healing on this. I have had and witnessed great healing with that mantra. Conflict between two neighbors. Great healing happened on this, or at least the energy sat back down. As we're going through life and managing what we're doing, life is going to happen to us, for us, so that we can gain some tools to move forward in what we're doing. And I can tell you that there's a lot of these stressful moments, if you looked back, because that's the only way that we can say that things have happened. You look back at the truer perspective, changed your perspective, that if we can look back over the time that there's some synchronicity to why things happened. It's kind of like for me, when my arms had me not work doing hair anymore because my fingers were going numb and I was getting cramps down my arms and my shoulders and migraines and things like that. It made me stop doing hair. Well, guess what? Shortly after I was not able to do hair anymore, my dad got sick and with cancer, colon cancer. And then 3 years later, my mom with Lou Gehrig's disease, I was able to stay home with her. 3 years after that, my uncle had Lou Gehrig's disease, my mom's brother. I'm clear from any of it, so if you guys think of anything, I'm cutting that cord to anything that's dealing with me. That was their story, not mine. I'm asking for healing on that. That as we go through life is happening for us and to us. I can tell you that after going through all that, I got stronger. I became more in tune with my knowing of what I can do. I became more in tune with my personal strengths, my personal stories. Now, the very last mantra I would love to give to you, and this is one that it doesn't make sense to some people, which is okay. Yet at the same time, if you say it, you'll notice how life will pick you up and move you forward. Kind of like I was saying this, and it was about 2 or 3 weeks before Kevin and I decided he was going to go his way and I was going to go my way. Wonderful. I'm grateful for this moment. Life is happening around us. He needed to concentrate on his road, which is his life. I needed to do mine. There's been some other things. I ended up coming to California. I didn't even have plans to come to California 3 weeks ago. And there's a new knowing I'm going to explain to you that's come out of this that's been magical. And then there's these moments where other things happen, like my husband came up with a new perspective, which, wow. So this mantra is, as I attune to the energies of the now, I surround my body, my mind, my soul, and emotions with love as I dance with the spirit of my I am. So I'm going to repeat a couple here. So the beginning, I attune to the energies of the now. Attune. Think of a guitar. Ding! It has to be just the right tone. I attune to the energies of the now. So energies. I'm thinking of Father Sky, Mother Earth, everything around me, people on the freeway, people in the hospitals, people who are dancing in the streets because they're so happy. Attuning to the energies of the now as I surrounding myself, surround my body, my mind, because we have mind chatter, my soul, who's gone through so many lifetimes. And this is the time to clean things up. My soul and my emotions. Emotions, they're just wrung dry. Some of us we can't handle another day of crying situations. We're in anger now because we're just so done with life. Emotions. I surround my mind, my body, my soul, and emotions. Doesn't matter what order you put them in. I like emotions last because they're the one that we have a hard time recognizing sometimes. Our emotions with love. I use a bubble of love around me as my protector. It shifts everything. So I surround my body, soul, mind, and emotions with love. And it's not the love of my mom, my dad, or anything. It's the divine love. It's the love that's in a rainbow. It's the love of a otter taking care of its baby. It's the love of a dog looking in your eyes. It's the purr of a cat when it's truly happy. It's that love, that unconscious love, that as we sit with that. So as I surround my body, mind, spirit, and emotions with love. So I'm going to start the mantra over because I just got lost. Okay, I attune to the energies of the now as I surround my body, soul, mind, and emotions with love. As I dance. Ooh, many times we have a dance in life that we don't like the partner. We have a dance that we really enjoy that song. We have a dance of some of the tunes that are just like really, really, hoyo, hoyo, hoyo. So as I dance, because I can dance with anything, with the spirit, as I dance with the spirit to me is the wind that blows through the windows as the windows are open. It's the spirit of inspiration as one person is having a conversation with somebody else and it's just flipping around and each other is doing the thing. It's the spirit of a prayer chain. It's the spirit of life happening around us as we have the spirit of the I am, my personal I am. I am strong. I am awareness. I am who I am. It's that claiming, it's that explanation point. So I'll say the mantra again. As I attune with the energies of the now, I surround my body, mind, spirit, and emotions, any order, with love as I dance with the spirit of my I am. If you say it 3 times, it's amazing what hits you. And it's amazing the ripple effect. It's amazing how, ouch, that fell off my plate, but yet now look what can I have? What's coming to me? What magic is happening to me? Okay, so we're coming down to the last 5 minutes of my show here. And I usually pull a card. So as I'm going to be pulling out a card, and I'm going to pick tonight because it just is one of those things that I'm going to say what came to me this week. So with me helping my girlfriend feng shui, I've always feng shuied, and I know it. I know it in my soul. I also am one that, with me seeing spirit, being very intuitive, I see where there's energy blocks in the house. I see where energy is too flowing. Like my girlfriend here had stairs and then there was rungs and it was almost like the waterfall coming over because there's a window. So the window and down. That as I've come to this, I'm like going, why don't I do this? I love to help people organize. I love to help people organize. Like my girlfriend she just moved in 6 weeks ago. She had a closet or a garage full of just bins. So we organized because I know I'm not going to stay here to help her. I can't. So we organized books in one place, clothes in another, office supplies in another. We're getting pertinent rooms set up, her office. I love to support people in this movement. Then we did some energy shifts with feng shui. Oh my gosh, now it's not, her house is not feeling in chaos. It's actually feeling like it's breath. It's dancing with the spirit of its I am. So this is another thing that I'm going to be introducing in my knowings. And if anybody is anywhere, like here down in California, because I can see myself traveling and staying someplace for a week or two to help clients while I'm there. I am very open to this new journey that I've been a witness of myself. So the cards I'm asking to is what can you say about stressful moments? Stressful moments. Oops, that card almost popped out. I'll bring that one out, and then there's 3 here. So, oh, yep, I said there was 3 here, didn't I? I meant to say there was 3 total, but nope. Synchronicity. There was 3. Okay, so first card is truth. Truth. So truth. The truth of life. There's different truths. There is totally different truths. You're not, there's many truths as there's different perspectives. Have you ever noticed how many perspectives there is in life? There's that many truths. But I'm going to tell you the truth is love. And that's the love I was talking about that I surround myself with. It's the truth of the rainbow. It's the truth of the kiss of the wind on your cheek. It's the truth. So the truth. It's about navigating through your own personal truths to see if this is your stressor or is this somebody else's. Did you pick up a stressor from your mom about being angst over bugs around you because you saw her and yet you're not afraid of bugs? That's just an example. Not picking on bugs anyway, but truth. So check in with your truth. Okay. The hawk. I love the hawk. He's my totem. With the hawk is about getting a clear vision, where hawks fly? They fly at a higher value. So instead of being a mouse and looking and getting into the victimhood of things only happening like this, that take the look and glide through the stressors, get above it, see the bigger picture. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to the moment? Huh. And this is an 11 card, so that's a magical number. 1111, magical moments. If you've been seeing 911, 9 is about endings with magical new beginnings. So with that, hawk, take the vision of the hawk instead of down where you're at. Practice makes better. The board. Okay, so with that, remember that if we're stressed out, tired, turn off the TV. Or like I've been doing lately, Turn on the TV, but onto music. Do something that can be more magical through for you. Know that whatever you're doing can support you in your life. So if you're watching something trauma on TV, you're going to be more stressed in life. So try and do um, some music, poetry, myth, history, enchantment of the storytelling. So remember that the more we stay in the story, the deep story. Now, did you hear my whole story about what I went through when I was really stressed those years with my mom and my dad and my uncle? No, you didn't hear about how, the stress I had because I had a hard time feeding my mom, or all those different things of me being human and trying to take care of a toddler at the same time my mom wasn't walking. You know, wanting her to eat her last meal because I knew intuitively she wasn't going to be able to eat it again. And she said no because she didn't want it for that night, but she didn't see the foresight that she wasn't going to be able to eat it because her throat was closing down. So I can go into the story of the trauma, or I can go into the story of what happened. If we lighten up our stories, not necessarily stop telling them, but lighten them up, shift the perspective a little bit. Sometimes we can get a little bit further forward in where we're going. Because the swan, the swan's about having something be ugly. It's ugly going through the change. It's ugly going through that stressful moment. Yet at the same time, though, being like the swan, that you can have a beautiful ending. Perspective helps. Because as we change our perspective, we can have beautiful moments. So the swan is transformation, trusting the psychic gifts. Your intuitiveness is coming open. And it's a 12. So 1 plus 2 is 3. The 30 number is about, number 1 is about new beginnings. Number 2 is about, I think of a plant. So number 1 is when you plant the tree, your new idea. Number 2 is about the roots are growing. So what are you doing to apply your applications towards your roots growing? Number 3 is that the plant becomes flourished. The roots have grown. There's new foliage. There's actually sometimes fruit, because sometimes it takes 3 years for a fruit tree to produce fruit. So with that, as we go through life and manage life, know that you're going to be perfectly imperfect. There's something else. Perfectly imperfect going through these moments. So with this, it's time for me to hopefully give you enough tools to help your perspective just a little bit. And if you just practice a little bit, even if it's 3 days later, you're starting the process. And please know that as you go through life, I have private sessions and time for private sessions that support you in this. Because I know a lot of us feel shame during these moments through life happening. That when we're going through life, having a tool, and I can tell you and help you through your past lives being triggered, your new energies coming into you. I'm not necessarily a yes or no person. You should go here, you should go there. At the same time, though, I do get perspective to help you move through to that next journey in your life. So with that, please reach out if you're interested in that. And also, too, as I know, as we're all going through changes, that if we check the energy of our homes, many times that supports us moving forward. Kind of like when something ended for me, I decided to clean off my front porch to add a new clean beginning. Feng Shui is one of those things that it may not be the fixer-all because we're still human walking through the process. That as we go through life and move forward in life, life is going to do things for us. Life is going to do things to us, and having that perspective of the hawk can help us out. So blessings to you. Please know that I'm here. I would love to support you, and I know that people have told me that I've made a difference in their lives, and I would love to make a difference in yours. Blessings with you. I will see you at Monday at, what is it, 4 o'clock, both Monday and Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time here on YouTube and Facebook. So it's blessings with you. And Veronica, thank you. I love you too. This is a woman who went from muck to even though life isn't perfect, to more beauty in her life because of perspective. And Kathy, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy on your journey. That, that is the hugest thing that we can say to each other. I love doing that. That's actually nice to say to someone. Thank you. And joy on your journey. What a gift to finish off the show with. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings to you. And I will see you Monday, I hope.